Confused about what career to choose? Not quite sure of the range of study and work options compatible with your personality, aptitude and interests? Welcome to Career Cafe, where we give you a ringside view of an exciting career each week. Together, we shall explore the pros and cons, the ins and outs, the programs and prospects, all the stuff you need to make an informed and successful career choice. Hi, I'm your host and career guide Pervin Malhotra, and on the menu today, we have the upcoming field of cybersecurity. Thanks to our ever-increasing dependence on computers, the emergence of web services, and the proliferation of e-commerce, more and more organizations are moving their offline transactions online. The need for developing foolproof e-security systems to safeguard networks and databases from rampant cracking has emerged as the #1 global IT concern today. Cybersecurity is the latest buzzword in the IT industry, and not without reason. With over 300 plus new viruses released every day and hacking crimes rising exponentially, governments and corporations have beefed up their information security spends, in turn generating a demand for an army of cyber cops or cybersecurity specialists. And to tell us all about careers in this field, we have with us Dr. Parag Diwan, Vice Chancellor of the University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, UPES. Before founding UPES, Dr. Diwan was the Dean and Director of IMA. Dr. Diwan wears several hats, from working as a research associate for NASA while studying in the US to setting up a .com venture in the golden days of e-commerce. An acclaimed energy sector professional, he's been instrumental in developing several institutions in the energy domain. Dr. Diwan has authored and edited several books, technical and research papers, as well as multimedia-based learning modules. An acknowledged e-learning guru, he's won many awards, including the prestigious Hewlett-Packard Research Fellowship for conducting research on online education. Welcome to Career Cafe.
Thank you, Pervin.
This field of cybersecurity sounds so interesting. I don't think anyone working in this field would have a dull day, no? There would be a new challenge every single day.
Every day is a new challenge, of course.
Absolutely. So tell us a little about this field. Why is the demand for these people, why has it grown so exponentially?
Oh, that's a great question, and the reason for that is because today we live in cyber world. Anything and everything we do is cyber assisted, from getting up in the morning by an alarm on your mobile phone to Facebook checking in the morning.
Even this program wouldn't be possible.
Yes,
no?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So since we are in cyber world, and cyber world has many dimensions, from old-fashioned desktops to laptops to tablets to smartphones, and now what they call wearable technologies. So since cyber world is so pervasive in our lives, therefore the reason for cybersecurity to be equally pervasive becomes very important. And with that, there is the advent of the new generation of careers, as you rightly put, the cyber cops or cybersecurity professionals. So that's why this is becoming more and more important, and it manifests in many ways. So if we look into a very mundane day-to-day example is our credit card usage, because with growing e-commerce, or even in normal brick and mortar stores, today most of the money is plastic money. And that is the biggest challenge, and Indians were late adopters to e-commerce because they were worried about their credit cards.
Absolutely.
Today with now the EMV credit cards, you have all those security features embedded into that chip, which is into your plastic card. So that is a manifestation of cybersecurity and how the credit cards have become far more secure than they were ever before. So this is the reason of immense explosion in cybersecurity and cyber
in this field.
Absolutely.
So if you have any queries about this fantastic field, just grab your phone and call us quickly on these toll-free numbers 011-230-35420 and 1-800-115314. Yeah. So please continue. Tell us now. If suppose I'm a science student, okay, and I'm looking at getting into this field. First of all, how different is this field from, say, hardcore programming? Okay. Do you have to have a solid knowledge of hardcore programming, and how do you decide between the two?
Yeah. Well, it has, like I said, it has multiple dimensions, and it has hardware dimensions, it's got software dimensions, It has got even what is now called cloudware dimensions because everything is in the cloud.
Right.
But yes, a good programming or good hardware background is important because
hardware background is important.
As well as software.
As well as software, of course.
So when you are talking about hardware, it is about network switches, it is how you connect, and you know, there have been instances of what they call a very interesting word they use, building a backdoor in the switches. So in certain countries, vendors of certain other countries are not preferred because those build some backdoors.
They've already built
a backdoor in their networking devices, and all the secure government or other data is funneled back to that other country, which may not be too friendly to you or may not be so.
Absolutely.
So these are kind of very interesting dimensions that have come in forth.
So it's not just about detection, it's also about prevention.
Prevention.
Yes.
And prevention is more difficult than
detection.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's that. Then there is in software. Software has been there for many, many years. Even when I was a student about 30 years back in US, there were encryption technologies, there were algorithms one used to study in computer science. Some of them are still existing, those algorithms, but they have become more complex, more sophisticated as the time has gone by to prevent the, you know, attack of intruders or...
Right.
So I would say there is software dimension, there is a hardware dimension, and at the higher level you are supposed to be complete and know about the total, what is called information architecture or information system architecture of your company or of your organization.
Right. And you have your first caller, Hemant from Delhi. Welcome to Career Cafe, Hemant.
Hello. Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
How to protect the cyber security? This is my first question. Basically, we live in a cyber world. First, please tell how to protect the cyber security.
Cyber security is all about protecting. है ना?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
डॉक्टर साहब, तो उनको जरा बताइए कि ये
हेमंत, आप जो कह रहे हैं कि आपका तात्पर्य आई थिंक ये है कि हम अपनी चीजों को कैसे सिक्योर कर सकें।
बिल्कुल।
सो जैसे अगर हम रोजमर्रा का और एग्जांपल लें और आपके पास मोबाइल फोन होगा, नॉर्मली हर किसी के पास होता है आजकल, तो उसमें कुछ पिन प्रोटेक्शंस होती हैं, पासवर्ड प्रोटेक्शंस होते हैं। तो ये तो फर्स्ट लेवल का प्रोटेक्शन है, और अगर आप अपना पिन नंबर या अगर पासवर्ड किसी को दे देंगे तो आपका सेल फोन अनप्रोटेक्टेड रहेगा। और अगर आप उसे आगे जाते हैं तो आप एटीएम ट्रांजैक्शंस की बात करते हैं, एटीएम में भी आपका पिन होता है, कई लोग इजीली अपना एटीएम कार्ड लोगों को दे देते हैं, पिन नंबर दे देते हैं। तो काफी कुछ सिक्योरिटी तो आपके हाथ में है कि जो पिन नंबर्स हैं, सिक्योर नंबर्स हैं, वो आप शेयर नहीं करिए, किसी और को नहीं दीजिए। और अगर आप लार्ज ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में काम कर रहे हैं जहां आपके फाइनेंशियल स्टेक्स बहुत बड़े, लग से आप बहुत बड़े किसी बैंक में काम करते हैं और बैंक में कोई फ्रॉडुलेंट ट्रांजैक्शन करा के किसी और के अकाउंट से पैसे निकलवाना चाहता है, तो वो भी एक तरह का साइबर सिक्योरिटी रिस्क है। उसके लिए लोग फायरवॉल्स बिल्ड करते हैं और सॉफ्टवेयर में मल्टीपल लेयर्स ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन बिल्ड करते हैं।
But even as a personal PC user, etc., you can install some security software which is available.
और आजकल तो बड़ा इजी सॉफ्टवेयर आते हैं जिनको कहते हैं स्पाईवेयर कहते हैं, मालवेयर कहते हैं, कि किसी ने आपके अंदर स्पाई का कुकी भेज दिया जिससे आपका सारा डेटा निकल रहा है। तो उस सब के लिए पर काफी कुछ आपके अपने हाथ में है, और जो बेसिक चीजें हम लोग रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में नहीं करते, भूल जाते हैं या दोस्तों को दे देते हैं।
बैकअप्स लेना चाहिए, एक तो अपने
सिक्योरिटी के बड़े डायमेंशन है हेमंत। तो ये तो डिपेंड करता है कि आप कहाँ काम करते हैं और आपको किस तरह की सिक्योरिटी चाहिए। और हर किसी को टॉप क्लास सिक्योरिटी भी नहीं चाहिए होती है, घर की अपनी अलग होती है, बैंक की अपनी अलग होती है।
सही बात।
तो अगर आप अपने पीसी पे काम कर रहे हैं तो उसके लेवल की सिक्योरिटी डिप्लॉय करिए, और अगर बैंक्स में काम कर रहे हैं तो उसके लेवल की सिक्योरिटी डिप्लॉय करें।
बिल्कुल। तो डॉक्टर साहब, ये जो हम करियर्स की बात कर रहे हैं, इसमें साइंस बैकग्राउंड होना जरूरी है ना?
साइंस और मैथमेटिक्स की बैकग्राउंड काफी इंपॉर्टेंट रखती है, बिकॉज ये जो मैं आपको बता रहा था एल्गोरिदम्स हैं काफी कम्प्लेक्स हैं और सब नंबर बेस्ड हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
सो अगर आपके नंबर्स के साथ फैसिलिटी नहीं है तो थोड़ी आपको दिक्कत आ सकती है। पर ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब अगर आपको बिल्कुल मैथ से, और मैथ जब मैं बोलता हूँ हायर ऑर्डर मैथ्स की बात नहीं करते, बेसिक नंबर्स वगैरह की बात करता हूँ। ये नहीं कि आप कैलकुलस के एक्सपर्ट हो गए या, बट बेसिक जो स्टैंडर्ड अलजेब्रा और स्टैंडर्ड मैथमेटिक्स है उसकी जानकारी होनी जरूरी है।
तो जरा आप हमें बताएंगे कि एग्जैक्टली क्या डिमांड है, कितना डिमांड है, से एज कंपेयर टू डिमांड फॉर हार्डकोर आईटी प्रोफेशनल्स जिसको हम प्रोग्रामर्स वगैरह कहते हैं, उनकी तुलना में व्हाट इज द डिमांड फॉर दीज पीपल?
देखिए, पिछले कुछ सालों से डिमांड बढ़ी रही है, और अगर इफ वी टेक recent estimate of one of the trade bodies, I think it was published by NASSCOM,
Yes.
that currently out of all IT professionals, at least 10% of them currently are going to cybersecurity world. So let's say last year projected demand of professionals was anywhere about 300 to 400,000 new jobs get created in this country in IT field. So which means about 30 to 40,000 jobs
Every year.
currently are in cybersecurity.
Are in cybersecurity. And मैं कहीं पढ़ रही थी कि the demand is growing 3.5 times as compared to
the normal
Yes.
IT professionals,
Yes.
because this field is growing.
Yes,
there
it's
is
a new.
there is a need for talent, and also, as I said, since cyber is becoming all pervasive, so it requires far more protection
people. So
and
this
far
is
more
something
people.
that young people should be looking
Absolutely,
at, you know.
absolutely,
Yes.
and that's one of the new
Yes.
generation careers.
Bilkul, bilkul. And you have another caller, Nikit from Maharashtra. Welcome, Nikit.
Yeah.
Hi. What's your question?
Yeah. Hello, sir. My question is, I'm just electronics engineering graduated, and now I want to build my career in cyber security. So what is the first step after completing my graduation, which I just have completed, to enter in this field?
It's a very good question, and a lot of young people who are graduating with computer science or with
Electronics would be just the perfect thing for him, yes.
They are the best suited for this kind of work. Now again, depends on what level of cybersecurity professional you wish to become. If you want to enter the industry at a higher level, then the best choice is to undergo a comprehensive master's program or an MTech program in cybersecurity, or there are certifications also,
Yes.
international certifications like CISA, which is certified
Auditing and yes.
information security auditor, which looks into how the intrusions or things can happen, and that's a rigorous program, and the pass percentage, etc., is quite stringent in that. But if you have a CISA qualification, you are globally in demand and you can move anywhere. Other part could also be, since you are from electronics background, you can also look into the hardware security aspects, as I was mentioning earlier, how the network, switches, routers could be made more secure, and that has a lot more to do with electronics than the.
So in that particular, so if that is the side he wished to go into, then should he go for a degree? Should he go for certifications? What should he do?
Well, depends on it, what is a long-term career plan. If it's he's gonna test the ground, then sometimes 3 months or 6 months certification is a better choice. But if his mind is made up that that's the future,
right,
and
then you go for a longer duration
a degree program of 2 years or thereabouts.
So does it also happen, Dr. Diwan, that companies that hire you for these, they would also train you on the job? A predominant training would happen there?
Yes. In fact, that has been the norm today, because in the past there were no specialized courses in cybersecurity. So most people will hire people, make them undergo through various stages of training, sometimes send them for expensive courses abroad to
to augment their skills. Yes.
So that has been the trend, but now that some courses are available in this country, people are taking that courses, so industry is getting better trained initially, but still a huge amount of training on the job is required, because a lot of courses you will get only the theoretical concepts, but by doing, then only you really learn.
And yet another caller, Dheeraj from Maharashtra. I think Maharashtra is real gung-ho on IT security. Yes, Dheeraj, what's the question?
My question is that what would be the qualification for the cyber security, and what are the various courses?
Well, as Dr. Diwan said, you know that I think a science background or an engineering background at the base would be, yes, that's the base requirement, and on top of that, a certification, or if you're 100% sure, then a master's degree. Would be the way to go ahead. Now, Dr. Diwan, जब हम cyber forensics कहते हैं, what exactly is that?
A very interesting question, or this, I don't know, some of us do watch, and it's a very old running show on television called CID. So if you look into the physical crimes, they take a magnifying glass, see a blood drop, or hair strand. Similarly, in cyber forensics also, cyber criminals leave traces
of their footprints,
footprints on, and then that's how your spyware or detection mechanism see that there has been an intrusion, that's how he's left. So there is digital fingerprinting that, you know, so, the codes have been broken. So you will say those broken links, which are akin to, you know, pulled out here or whatever you may call that.
Yes.
So that's the cyber forensics aspect of it. So see, after the cyber crime has happened, what are the footprints or fingerprints or hair?
Right. So all these areas
or DNA, so to speak.
Yes, the DNA of the bilkul.
So that is the cyber forensics aspect of it.
Okay, wonderful. We'll take a short break here, but when we return, we'll continue to look at the professional outlook and prospects and take all your queries. So stay right there. Welcome back to Career Cafe. We are looking at careers in cybersecurity, and with us is Dr. Diwan, Vice Chancellor of UPES. So Dr. Diwan, now suppose मैंने engineering का course कर लिया, cybersecurity का भी course कर लिया. Now how will I, as a fresher, what sort of jobs would I get in this industry?
Yeah, like in any career, you know, they have multiple levels, and you start generally with what is called a security analyst or a security engineer, or even a intrusion detection officer. So these are the entry-level jobs where you look into whether the architecture security of your infrastructure, IT infrastructure that is properly designed, or there are holes, like I say, people have built the back doors or left windows for intrusion. So that is the hardware architecture aspect. And security analyst is into looking into what are the possible security issues. So it's just like, you know, in a physical world also you have security officers of campuses. They see whether there is a parameter which is broken. So here also, and there are similar security parameters or firewalls which have been, you know, broken through. So these are the entry-level careers. Then ultimately, as you grow, you lead up to an ultimate positions in a lot of big companies as Chief Information Security Officer or CISO. Or Chief Information Security Auditor. So these are the high-level jobs which you grow into about 10 odd years of professional work.
And you could also turn consultant.
Yes,
no? Many
a lot of people have become, because since it's a new field, a lot of people need, and if you're really talented, then why you confine yourself to one organization? Then you become the best of the art or state-of-the-art practitioner. And you provide services, and it's just like a great dentist or a great heart surgeon.
Yes, your services are available to whoever
for call
requires
basis,
them.
and so that's yet another.
So what are the challenges that fresh entrants would face?
Challenges that a lot of companies themselves not know what they're hiring for, or the HR does not really know what are the job descriptions, how to, you know, select or find or fit a particular purpose. So there is still a lot of gray areas at a lot of companies. I'm not saying big evolved companies is a different matter, but younger, smaller startup companies or companies with fully Indian background, or a lot of times even in government sector, that government sector thinks that we are big, we are everything, we are secure, take sometimes things in a complacent way.
So the youngster has to sort of sell himself.
Yes, sell himself and be armed with it, and be armed with certifications, projects which he has done. And also, very interestingly, in most campuses these days, there is a competition which is called ethical hacking competition.
Yes, what a craze that is.
So if you are a winner of few ethical hacking competitions in India, abroad, internationally, that becomes a great selling point on your CV. And then when you are going for a computer security job, that becomes a great feather in your cap. And also in this job, you know, you should have, I mean, I hate to say in that way, that you should have some kind of a criminal mind yourself.
Yes, to catch a thief, set a thief, to catch a thief.
Yeah. So you have to know, okay, I mean, this is how it can be broken into. So then you can find an antidote for it or a prevention for it.
Right.
So you always keep on thinking that how the next intrusion will happen, or next. So you have to beat the intruder at its own game.
At
so
its
you
own
have
game.
to be ahead of the curve. So that's the challenge.
Wonderful. So this is a wonderful idea जो आपने दिया कि while you're doing your engineering, it could be whatever field.
Whatever field.
You know, ये ethical hacking competitions वगैरह में participate करो.
Absolutely.
That itself will give you a flavor.
Get good flavor, and some of the guys will discover that is the that's the way
their
they want to
calling.
go, and they're natural at that, you know.
They're natural at that, as long as they don't misuse it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh?
So
because it's a fine
thin line is
yes, thin line.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But in the years ahead, देखिए अभी तो ये फील्ड नया है, उभरता है, तो बहुत सारे लोगों की रिक्वायरमेंट है. Do you foresee this requirement at this same pace in the years to come?
Initially, yes. I foresee that next 5 to 10 years, the pace will be rampant. It is a throwback to 1984 when the computers came into this country, and everybody who knew little bit about computers became specialist and got hired. So it's at that kind of a gold rush stage as of now. But 5-10 years, when these systems will become more mature, the professionals will be more in number, matured professionals would be higher, then it kind of everything as it plateaus out, it will plateau out. But I would say for next 5 to 10 years, the
demand will remain. So all these young people who are watching today, they have a fantastic
run for next 5 to 10 years
because
for sure.
You know, sometimes I hear these young people say कि अब IT में saturation हो रहा है वगैरह, तो why not look at these value added areas?
And IT also is changing. It's the value addition areas or niche areas that
niche areas, absolutely, and that's what they should be looking at. Perfect. So what are the challenges in this field as such that you perceive?
Challenges is manifolds because technology changes at, as they call it, the speed of light or something. So
you have to keep abreast all the time.
All the time in the technology, whether it's software, hardware, newer ways, like you were saying in your opening remarks, 400, 500 new viruses are generated every day. So how to keep track of it, what's coming, what's going to really become viral, what will die down early deaths, things like that. So that's one of the biggest challenge, to be technically current or technologically abreast with whatever is the latest or current in the field. So that's one of the biggest.
Your university also offers courses in cyber
we recently started, and this was built in conjunction with IBM, and it's an undergraduate 4-year super specialized computer science engineering program, which is in cyber security and cyber forensics. So our first batch is somewhere in the middle, which is 2 years completed. So hopefully 60 bright kids will come out in next 2 years. So, and our university has a robust system for ethical hacking kind of competitions and other kind of competitions. So,
great. So best of luck for that. And yet another caller, Avneet Banerjee from West Bengal. Welcome, Avneet.
Hello, ma'am.
It just got cut off. Anyway, so tell me something. What about the kind of compensations that are paid to people with this specialization? How does it compare with compensations paid to, say, average fresh computer science graduates?
Well, at the last estimates, if you compare these specialists, and I'm talking about initially at the entry level, because at the later level, sky's the limit. It depends on what you are and what kind of. So on the average, it's about 10 to 20% higher than the plain vanilla computer science graduate. So today, typical average salaries in this country for a freshly minted computer science is about 3 lakhs per annum. So these guys go around 3.5 lakhs per annum initially. Largely, I'm saying average. There could be aberrations. There could be some good companies who may give you, or multinational companies who may give you as high as 5 lakhs start. But generally, it's about 3.5 vis-a-vis 3 for a plain vanilla computer science engineer.
But you know, talking about government, because government is upped its own spend on information security, spending, and all governments all over the world, it's not just India. So what kind of opportunities in the government sector?
Well, I think government is the biggest sector which has this, and with advent of new e-governance mechanisms, you know, all these new, if you look into even the new government's popular policies, licenses, Aadhaar cards, what have you, they're all part of e-governance. And so e-governance has the biggest challenges that, you know, forgeries, forged passports is a big issue worldwide, that how if your e-governance gets compromised and you can produce a forged passport or forced driving license, or even any national identity card with biometrics, etc., etc. So that's one of the biggest challenge in the government sector, how to secure its e-governance systems and mechanisms and so on and so forth.
So lots of jobs in the government sector itself. Fantastic. So, you know, for a country that's crazed about sarkari jobs, that's
a new arena. That's
a new thing. And yet another caller, Deepa from Hyderabad. Welcome, Deepa.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's the question, Deepa?
So the question that I have is, I already work at IBM.
Okay.
And that's one reason which fascinated me to give you a call.
Okay.
So the question that I have is that there are a lot of people who are already into mid-career level job roles. How can they switch over to, you know, ethical hacking or a career in security, cyber security?
What are you currently doing there?
So I'm a project manager at a senior level. My husband is he's a system admin. Both work for IBM.
Oh, great.
Great. That's absolute. And since we have such a fantastic alliance with IBM, it's great to hear from an IBMer. It's a great question, and its question is again akin to any mid-career professional will ask, whether in software field or energy field or whatever. And as of now, the best avenues for mid-career professional is to get higher order certifications. And one of the most popular certifications, as I mentioned earlier, is the CISA certification for people who've already put about 8 to 10 years of work experience in IT field. Maybe it could be in project management of IT or whatever. So that certification is something those mid-career professionals who wish to move into cyber security.
So is that very tough?
It is tough.
It is tough, but great demand.
Great demand and globally mobile.
Globally mobile.
So if you have that certification tomorrow, you can be in US or Europe or wherever and large banks, large insurance companies, you are really in demand.
And so the CISA certification is essentially a self-study or a combination of
something akin to CA, that you go through a structured curriculum, but you have to appear in exams. And then there are, as in any industry, test prep industry is there also.
And it's something you can do alongside your job.
Absolutely, you don't have to leave that job.
Yes, you don't have to leave. So that is just the thing for you, Deepa.
And also going forward, like mid-career executive MBAs developed to aid. So similarly, going forward, there would be, you know, executive master's programs in cybersecurity, etc., which will come in a couple of years as this market, as the demand of people like Deepa increase. So and the education industry will also respond with it.
In this knowledge era and knowledge economy, you have to keep learning,
Another is there are also some very interesting MOOCs available.
Yes, absolutely, on Coursera, edX, etc.
Universities like Carnegie Mellon, who are, you know, well known in this field, do have MOOCs. So if one has to, for self-learning mechanism or self-understanding,
and now the industry values these MOOCs
and
programs.
it's the cheapest, it's no cost, almost virtually no cost. And again, if you want to get certified, then of course you pay an examination certification
which is also fairly nominal.
Fairly nominal.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diwan. I mean, you opened out a whole, what shall I say, bouquet of opportunities for young people who, you know, in a country that's so obsessed with engineering and within that IT now here is another way out, wonderful way out. And with that, we wrap up today's show here. Do send us your feedback at careercafe@lstv@gmail.com. Next week on Career Cafe, we'll look at yet another super career. But before that, let me leave you with one of my favorite parting shots. The only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. Okay, so bye for now. Happy Diwali and see you next week.